Hello YouTubers, this is GoldStandard00924 coming at you with another video. And as you can notice by the background setting of this video, yes, I'm in the guest room here. So for those wondering where the basement is, it got remodelized recently. So, I haven't really been making videos for about a month or so. Or at least as far as actually showing my face here on YouTube, because I know I'd like every now and then I'll do like a lot of audio commentary videos, like I've been doing a lot of them pretty often. So yeah, so basically the basement where I used to shoot my videos got remodelized. So there used to be like a wall that normally I would use to basically put my computer. So basically, that wall got torn down, and now the basement's basically a lot more spacious. So it kind of merged with the hallway of my house that leads to like the front door. Um, yeah, so basically, the basement's basically more spacious, like I said. A little less cramped. It was very very dark. Normally when I shoot videos, because most of the time I shot them like during the daytime hours, as opposed to like evening hours, and yeah, so you didn't really see a whole lot of videos from the evening hours that I shot. So I mean the room was just very very dark and very dusty as well. So I mean it was a my house here, it was a really old one. So it's not like this big gigantic mansion that's very expensive in terms of rent. Yeah, so basically, I'll probably be shooting videos here, but I might be shooting next videos maybe in another room. So it might not be like permanent, but I might show you a little bit of the new appearance of my basement, because yeah, there's just a lot of remodeling. It's not the old brown wooden walls that you normally see in the background. Um, so just for those that are wondering why I shot this video in the new rooms, because normally I've been shooting videos in my basement for a very long time. Almost since I first started making videos on YouTube. So yeah, so this room might be just for temporary purposes. I might be shooting my next couple of videos in another room, but we'll just have to wait and see. But that's for those viewers that are watching now, if you're wondering. So yeah, so that's basically that's just basically that. Um, So in this video, I'm just going to be talking about the my thoughts on the pilot episode of Girl Meets World. So basically, Girl Meets World, just premiered, recently. Now you can actually watch it on like iTunes a month prior, cause yeah, so they leaked it out in May, but it wasn't until the end of June when Disney Channel started showing it, showing the world premiere, world television premiere of it. Um, Overall, I will say that it was a pretty bearable episode. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I wouldn't say it's spectacular either, but at least bearable at best. There are some things that I really wish they could have expanded on a little bit, and I'm probably going to get more into that as the video progresses. So basically, before I discuss about the pilot episode, I just want to kind of discuss on, just my thoughts when I first heard about the news of Girl Meets World. So, yeah, basically, it was leaked around a lot of entertainment media websites that Disney Channel was interested in greenlighting a spin-off to Boy Meets World. And Boy Meets World was a '90s teen sitcom that ran for 7 seasons on ABC. So basically, Disney Channel was interested in making a new series of it, and Disney Channel pretty much showed like a lot of reruns. I know people, there are some new generation of kids that were probably too young to remember the show in its initial run, and people thinking that it was a Disney Channel original when it really aired on like ABC. So yeah, so like when Boy Meets World came out, Disney Channel was just basically like a premium channel. So basically, you had to like pay a fee in order to watch the channel. So it was basically like what HBO and all these commercial free networks normally air because basically those channels, they were very commercial free. I mean, they didn't show commercials or just interrupting some of the programs that those networks would air. So that's why they call it like a premium channel. So yeah, back then Disney Channel wasn't the Disney Channel that you know now. So Boy Meets World aired on broadcast television, and Boy Meets World had ended, and Girl Meets World airs on, rather than on ABC where Boy Meets World was originally aired in its initial run. Girl Meets World instead airs on the basic cable channel with the Disney Channel. So yeah, so like I said, my thoughts going in, when I heard about this news, I was just very astonished. um, I mean, because the 2010s have been known for like a lot of 90s nostalgia. So apparently they want, like many other franchises, you have all these entertainment company outlets just trying to milk in all it's worth on nostalgia, and basically, eventually, Girl Meets World was greenlit into a TV show. There've been a lot of casting calls and auditions here and there. You even had like the cast of Boy Meets World reuniting in a lot of these, local news, on these local news programs, and just basically, a renewed interest in the show. And I believe it might have attributed to the good ratings that the reruns got on networks like NTV2 and ABC Family, because they rerun like Boy Meets World very constantly. And I guess the ratings were so great that Disney Channel, or whoever company, basically was interested in making a follow up to it. So here we are in 2014. Girl Meets World made it to production. The pilot episode has been wrapped up and basically shown worldwide. And I mean, then you get to like the pilot episode and just basically the premise of this. So 14 years after Boy Meets World ended, Corey and Topanga, they're living life in New York. And eventually they gave birth to their daughter named Riley, who is our lead character in this show. So basically, her and her best friend Maya, they both known each other since they were little kids. Eventually attend the first day of school, and basically, because New York is such a urban city with a lot of civilians, so basically, they're starting to adjust to life growing up. And basically Riley, her father Corey, Corey is now like a teacher. So basically, he takes the role of Mr. Feeney, being like the authority school teacher, kind of like the first season of Boy Meets World. So basically, Corey Matthews, he's teaching Riley, and not only just Riley, but a group of students in this formal class session. And basically, he talks about what's there to fight for. And and then Maya, being Riley's best friend, was fighting for no homework. And Corey's really really having some difficulty adjusting to adjusting to life as his school life as teaching. So basically, yeah, there's a lot of difficulties that go along the way. They meet up with two other characters. You have the new transfer in town named Lucas, who comes in from Texas. And you also have Farco, who is the son of Minkus. So basically, it's paying homage to some of the past characters from the previous series, and basically, Boy Meets World, season one was basically kind of like what they're reaching out for, and as far as Girl Meets World is going. Only difference is that Boy Meets World was in elementary school when the show started out, whereas Girl Meets World it was like junior high. So just little minor differences, but mostly pays homage to some of the earlier dynamics of the first season. Just really discussing about an innocent child growing up, just a coming of age TV show. So yeah, eventually, Maya, talks about how she didn't really have anybody that's helps her with her homework. You know, she just feels that what's the point of learning if you're just doing homework, and because Riley was Maya's friend, she stuck up for her, and Riley and her father Corey have some falling out here and there. So yeah, so basically Riley's basically Corey's student. The father and being the basically there's a lot of problems that go back and forth, just some conflict, and basically they're just trying to adjust to life. That's why it's called Girl Meets World. Yeah, so my overall episode thoughts. Like I said, it was a pretty bearable episode. I do think there are some things that I wish they could have explored upon. Because Corey's a teacher now, but he's basically the only adult in the school that we've seen so far, and you would think that there would be another authority figure like a principal or another teacher that might be out there to kind of monitor Corey as far as his teaching goes, lecturing. So I do kind of wish we knew a little more about Corey and how he got into teaching. I mean, it's pretty early in the series, granted, but I mean, yeah, I do wish they could have had a little more reaction to how Corey's teaching, and starting to plant some seed of doubts about him as a teacher. And I mean, he's raised a child with with Riley, and even her brother. I can't remember the brother's name, but because he was only there for like a few scenes, but he didn't really get a whole lot of screen time. Kind of like Topanga did in that episode. So Topanga didn't really get a whole lot of focus. I do wish they could have really have a bit of more of a pep talk. Just Corey feeling down. He's raised a child, but he doesn't understand like the differences. Raising a child and teaching a group of students the facts of life, and and he's really struggling to really discipline some of these kids. And Topanga would have been there to kind of really assure Corey that everything will be fine, and just really tells Corey to just really doing what she can to help Corey and help think things through, and overall feeling better about himself. And we didn't really get to see a little more of Corey and Topanga really being the couple that they were in they were in Boy Meets World. And I think that was another problem that kind of peeved me a bit, maybe a little more. But I mean, they were a very popular couple in the previous series, and you would think they would kind of at least give them a little more time to really give something that the older audience would like to provide them for. I mean, I don't know. I mean, granted, Girl Meets World was centered, about these two girls, but you could also have focus on, not try to alienate, the older audience, and provide them with something. And I do wish they could have gotten a little more screen time with Topanga, Um, I mean, but I mean, that aside, um, I did like the little cameo with Jackie Harry. I think that's, yeah, the actress that played Lisa from Sister Sister. So I liked her. I liked the role just for that episode. It was more of a guest appearance because she appeared in a couple scenes like in the metro where Riley and Mai used the metro as like a transportation to get to school. So I liked her role in that episode. I think she helped sell the scenes. Just a very talented actress. I really liked her on Sister Sister. She was really hilarious on that show. Um, so yeah, I thought that she was one of the few bright spots of this episode. Um, let's see. And there was also another cameo with Mr. Feeney who appears like towards the end of the episode, and it's heavily implied that Mr. Feeney passed away because there was like a scene where Corey like turned his back, and there was like this poster of Mr. Feeney, and it shows Mr. Feeney being like Corey's subconscious. Um, yeah, so basically he had a little cameo like towards the end of the episode. Um, and it was nice to see how he is, but if that's what they're kind of leaning towards for, um, I don't know. But yeah. So overall, I mean, Girl Meets World, just like I said, a pretty bearable episode. I do wish there were some things that they could have done differently. Um, Maya is basically kind of like the Sean, and going through a lot of issues growing up. Um, I don't know, cause like it kind of reminds me of it seemed like when Disney Channel casted some of the two main lead actors of this show, it almost made me seem like I was watching iCarly. Because if you think about it, Riley is supposed to be like Disney's answer to Miranda Cosgrove, and Maya is like the Jeanette McCurdy because both of them have like just very somewhat similar physical appearance wise. Because Riley and Miranda's character had like are brunette, and Sabrina and Jeanette have blonde hair, and the chemistry that they had on their respective shows. So the dynamic just seems a little, I guess, coincidentally similar in a way. Um, but I don't know. That's just a little minor nitpick I would just wanted to point out. Um, but and just basically I'm repeating myself with Corey and Topanga, just really give them a little more screen time, have Corey have a little more reaction to what happened at school, and Corey expressing some sense of doubt that he feels like he's not going to be a good teacher, and he's really starting to feel a little down about himself, and Topanga being there to support Corey through and through, and yeah, so Topanga just didn't really get a lot of screen time in this episode, which was quite disappointing in a way. I mean, because Corey's parents even got like just as sufficient amount of focus as some of the other characters, and both shows were half an hour, so I mean I don't understand why they why they can't seem to mesh some of those scenes in. But that's just really my thoughts on the Girl Meets World pilot episode. So yeah, so just leave down your comments down below. What you think about the pilot episode? Try to elaborate as best as I can or clarify things perhaps. But I mean, it's not a terrible episode really. I just do think they could have expanded a little more on it. But I mean, since this is pretty much too early in the series to really judge, um, I mean, it's a pretty simple, straightforward episode. I guess that's probably important thing to do is to not, make things so convoluted. But I still wish that they could have, just also provide something that the older audience would have. Not just focusing on the new generation of kids that don't even remember Boy Meets World. But just kind of balance the show out. It doesn't have to be aimed towards a specific demographic. And that's just the problem that a lot of Disney Channel shows have in recent years. It's not really a family network. It's just a network just catered towards just a one demographic. And why is it not a family channel? So I'm just been dragging on probably a little too long now, but overall my thoughts on Girl Meets World's pilot episode, just a very solid episode. So I'll give it a thumbs up at that. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, this is Gold Standards User 924 signing out.